Excuse me. I'm going to mute myself.
Good evening. And if you're just tuning in, you are listening live to the Angel Rock. I'm your host, Lorilei Potvin. We are coming to you from Canada, this show, and around the United States, but it's being broadcast from 105.3 in New Orleans, Louisiana. And we go out to every country in the world. So if you want to be part of the discussion today, that's the first thing I've got to remind you. Please head over to UFO Paranormal Radio Network, either on Facebook, the page, or you can go to the YouTube channel because I can see your comments that way. So I remind people all the time about that. Now, if you've never been to the show, welcome. I also welcome you always for the supporters and people that return to the show. The show, I say, cover all aspects of the paranormal, the esoteric, spirituality, with a little bit of truth seeking thrown in there. A little bit about myself. I'm a Canadian clairvoyant medium, crystal Reiki energy healer, Akashic Records practitioner, a spiritual teacher and mentor, and I'm also a registered nurse. And the people that I have on my show are from all walks of life, but whatever they're doing extracurricularly or professionally, they're making a positive change for humanity. And my guest today, who is a returning guest, is no different. Let me read just a little bit of a bio I wrote up about her, if I can find it. Here we go.
Let me walk away while you do that. I'm just kidding.
Okay, so tonight I welcome Katrina Cooper, who is an incredible medium, paranormal investigator, and who she calls her people, that she delivers messages from loved ones. And boy, she'll knock your socks off, guys. I'm not kidding. She calls them her Furever Friends, all one word, forever. But tonight, she's got a new venture I saw actually on Facebook. And I went, I got to have this girl back on because she has now got fur, like FUR, Furever Friends, and she's delivering messages from people's beloved fur babies, I'll say. The ones that are across the Rainbow Bridge, all of them are, I believe. And we're going to talk about that and a lot more. So welcome, Katrina. So glad to see you.
Thank you so much for having me. I absolutely love the energy on your show and your people. So I love it when you ask me to come. Thank you.
I'm so glad because, it doesn't, I think most of us in the field, we consider ourselves we're going to be lifelong learners. And right now I'm working on animal communication, and I think I'm overcomplicating it for myself. So I'm working on it, but my sons have both been able to communicate with animals since they were babies. And my eldest keeps telling me, but Mom, it's easy. It's easy. You just clear yourself. And when it's easy and you know how to do it, it's easy, but it's removing those little blocks. But I know I've known you for years. And like I said, I talk about you, like I said, before we came on air, because you did an incredible reading from when we were in our haunted house previously before. And I've always said about you that not that we do this, but I said, had you contacted me and said, Laura, here's the lottery numbers for tomorrow, I would go buy a ticket.
I would buy it first, but I would make sure all my Furever Friends knew about it and would share it with you.
I know you would. You've got that kind of heart. But I also have seen you on occasion deliver messages from the other side from beloved pets. And so what made you decide to get back into this? Like in this field, like I see you've almost branched out into another part of what you've created already.
Actually, I have always have. It's just you go with the flow of what people are looking for. And now that I can get back into the public's eye, not just because of COVID, but a personal reason, I'm working in town. So, you get to meet your other fellow weirdos. That's what I like to call us. We're weirdos. Let's just embrace it, And I'm meeting some absolutely amazing people. And I've always talked to animals. I don't just talk to the past ones. I can also communicate with ones that are on this planet already. And let me tell you, that's really weird. And let me tell you a story. This is how it started.
Okay. That was my next question.
I have always my whole life, but I want to tell you something that's very near. It just happened last Saturday. I had a home reading session. Actually, it was 2 Saturdays ago. She's a forever friend of mine, and she also knows the amazing. She was told a couple of years ago she was going to have a baby. Well, she's got 2 now. And she was the one like, this is not going to happen. Well, she's got a really gigantic poodle, those really big ones, because she could get up just as close to me when she stood up. Well, when I came into the home reading session, I traveled for an hour and a half, so I needed to use the bathroom first. And the dog kept saying poop, poop, poop. I know that. I swear. I swear.
Mhm.
I go to the bathroom. I'm like, I don't have to use that. But she's talking, and I'm going, I will tell her. I will tell her. So the dog keeps all over me, and she sits down, and I go, so what would you like me to help you with? Well, the dog, she don't know, but she wanted me to help her find her wedding ring.
Mhm.
And I am not psychic, but I can tap into your loved ones and they will tell me,
Yeah.
well, this didn't occur. It was her dog. She told me, I said, oh my goodness, now I know what she's talking about, the poop. So now I'm talking to her. I said, well, tell me, this family just 2 days prior to me coming was scheduled to move to Florida, Texas to
Okay.
Florida. They're already packed up. Whatever it may, they decided to stay in Texas. Well, the dog said that she was fed the ring in her defense. She did not eat the
Okay.
ring per se. She was fed. And she says, oh my goodness, my 3-year-old is always feeding her food, just like, just eat it kind of thing. Well, this wasn't food. And so the moment that I gave the message to her, her doggy goes and sits down, doesn't say one more thing, doesn't bother me. And that's why I say I talk to, and that happens a lot. You're the owner. And if I'm telling you something about that your little fur baby stated that you're going to give them sausages or
Yeah.
a special people food. I love that one too, because that doesn't always occur.
Mhm.
In particular, had one saying that her favorite was turkey in
Mhm.
little pieces. Well, when the owner can say, oh my God, that's what I give them. That's what
Mhm.
we're about to go up and do. Or
Yeah.
we just had a bath. Well, I talk to fur babies that are alive too. So there
I
you go.
think that's psychic ability, Katrina, it is, because you're reaching into the collective consciousness, I believe, which we are all connected to, anything
We
living,
are
breathing.
connected. We are
And
connected.
to me, that is psychic ability, right? Because you're not connecting with somebody in spirit,
I
because we
don't
do
think
know
it's
this,
a
right?
bad word. I don't think it's a bad word, but I won't own it because
Did you notice I didn't say psychic medium? I
yeah,
said
yeah.
clairvoyant medium at the beginning of the
I
show.
I don't own it because too many people they think that it is a whole different
Yes.
description. And the
Mhm.
only reason I knew where her I wouldn't have been able to walk in there and tell her where her ring was. Oh, and let me tell you, we're sitting there talking, right? And all of a sudden the dog gets up and gets right in my face and she tells me, I ate it again. It was the most funniest thing. It was like
Oh,
45 minutes in there. She came up, I gotta tell you, I ate it. Well,
oh,
the reason why she did is because she thought that they were moving and didn't want that ring to be not in that yard for them. So she was going to bring it with them to Florida. Is that just amazing or what?
incredible.
And this is
Y-
all information I would not have any.
No, you're not,
No,
you couldn't dream up a story like
no, it
that.
is 100. I got the picture of the doggy. They've been out there trying to find the ring, so I'm waiting on an update.
You got to get a metal detector and go through the yard,
That's
maybe.
exactly what they're doing. That's
They'll
exactly what
find
they're
it.
doing.
I have a
So
feeling they'll find
hopefully
it.
that the second time that the little one ate it, it came out. Wouldn't that be
Mhm.
another thing possibility? I don't know. So hopefully if they don't find it, I would suggest that she took x-rays.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that could cause problems. But there's a reason why this is so powerful with being able to speak to animals, because I create animal accessories and all kinds of things, and I know a little bit about marketing and not call myself an expert, but back in the day when I first started this, probably about 15 years ago, at that time the pet industry was a $5 billion industry. But my point of saying that is not about money, but
So
how highly valued our animal companions are to us. And most of us don't realize that, yes, we can communicate with animals, some better than others. But
I
I
have a
believe that's one.
hypothesis.
Yeah, no, but I think that's a God-given gift. That's part of why I think I'm here on this planet, from what spirit shared, is to help spread the message as human beings how incredibly gifted and powerful we are, but we've never been led to believe it or know it, and we've almost forgotten who we are.
I
Some
agree
of
with
us, like yourself, and I do some of this work as well, that people
Thank you.
remember it for whatever reason. But you've done this your whole life, right? Like for me, I did as a child, and there have been things I've realized now looking back and speaking with people who knew me. Like there were things apparently I would know that people would never know how I knew, and things. But my paranormal
Kids weren't allowed
experience.
to play with me.
Oh, I'm going to get there, because I was going to say my paranormal experience actually reopened my gifts. But please, let's talk about, that's where I was just going. Let's talk about this, because you had a really difficult childhood, didn't you?
Well, my mom went blind when she was 7, so I don't blame her in any way. If you got somebody telling you there's something there and you're scared, as a
Aw.
mom, as a parent, the first thing I'm going to want to do is to console that child and to
Mhm.
tell them it's not there. You're
Yeah,
safe. The place you're supposed to feel the safest is your home. And
right.
unfortunately, you did not, L'Oreal.
Mhm.
But um, so I don't blame her in any way.
Mhm.
But I'm also not stupid. I'm not a stupid person. So you learn to be quiet. You learn not to identify. You pretend they're not there.
Mhm.
Whatever works, because eventually they get. When I say they, spirit finds a way, and you have to deal with closing them out again.
Mhm.
But my mom, my mom always said that she would get calls from the parents, and you're
Oh,
on a play
no.
date, and Katrina's talking to something, or she's scaring the girls, and in no way was it meant. Truly, I thought I was talking to a woman there, and
Yeah.
truly thought that there was a man right there, or
Mhm.
whatever, or we have a fifth person. Why don't they got a plate? It never occurred to me that they did not see them too.
Mhm.
It
Well,
never
yeah,
occurred to
and
me
I've had a
that they
few
couldn't hear
people
them.
on that. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I said it never occurred to me that the others can't hear and see them.
No, exactly. When you've done it your whole life and you
Or you've
retained
seen
it.
it.
Like, I believe young children, and I've seen far too many examples of this, little kids
Yep,
can
true.
see, like when I'm working with someone, say, going through a paranormal experience, because I do offer it myself, having gone through what we did. Same thing. I don't look back in anger at what we went through. Would I wish it on a blade of grass? No, but I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today had we not gone through it all. So, I forget where I was going with this train of thought here.
I do that
Um,
too.
I was just going to say though, I've had lots of mediums. It'll come back to me. I've had lots of mediums on my show, the ones that remember it, for example, like from childhood and right straight through. And exactly what you just said, when you can see somebody plain as day, they're not see through, they're not anything, they're clear, like they're solid. And why can't you see them? I can see them. And no kid ever wants to say, "Oh my God, I'm weird." And then that's what happens, right? You stop talking about it
Well,
once you
there's
start
really no
realizing.
explanation for weird.
Mhm.
Back in the 60s and 70s, it wasn't even thought of an alternative. It was your imagination. It was and you can't follow them. I'm going to tell you, I couldn't follow them being in church and them telling me that God heard every fucking ooh, 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 ooh,
Mm-mm.
ooh. every
That's okay.
every
No worries.
single thing. I'm so
Mhm.
sorry. I couldn't follow that even as a little kid. What do
Mhm.
you mean? It's just so massively crazy. So I didn't understand. So if you didn't acknowledge that person there, I didn't acknowledge that person there. That's
Mhm.
basically where I came from.
Oh, hang on one sec. Giovanni, yeah, we're live right now. You can message me on Messenger. But feel free. We've got Katrina Cooper here. So I'll remind people, if you're just tuning in, I was wondering, that's where I was checking. Where is everybody? Normally we have lots of people here. So we will. I know we will. Um, So you're welcome to message me after. We can talk about that. He said, I want to come. He's been on my show before. I'll put his comment up because people are probably going, what the heck are you talking about? So, but I
Handsome.
hear you about this because I have a friend that we actually, I should remind people Thursday, please tune in here on UPRN from 3 to 5 or 4 to 6 Eastern, 3 to 5 Central for the thing at the foot of the bed. And David Hansel, you may know him, Katrina, from a previous that shall not remain unnamed that we used to belong to a group on Facebook. That's how I know David. And he actually, my dog's in the room. Actually, I'm surprised she's being quiet. You see, if spirit, really start talking about spirit, or spirit is here, my dog will come right over. And I've got my cat here too, both of them. But
Oh,
David actually, same thing as a child, but he had really, I have to say, really supportive parents, because our first show that we did, we talked about the differences as children growing up versus what he went through. And he said the same thing as you did. He was in Sunday school, and he said his parents had made the rule. One parent was one religion, one was another. And he was at Sunday school, and I think they had a choice whether they wanted to go to church or not. And at 14, they didn't have to go any further. But I think he was talking about being 4 or 5 years old and in this Sunday school, and exactly just what you said, that God was horrible and God was, you're going to burn. And he goes, there he was arguing with this person teaching. He's going, you're wrong. No, you're completely wrong. That's not the way this is. No.
my answer, and I remember it so clearly, was you just have to have faith.
Mhm. Mhm.
I did not like that answer. I'm a scientist. I know that that's kind of odd to put a
Yeah.
mediumship with science, but everything I do, missing person cases,
Mhm.
missing rings, whatever, I'm pulling apart every piece of information before I give it to you to make sure
Mhm.
that I'm getting it from the person you asked from. I don't
Mhm.
like hijackers. I don't like, because you got ones that will pretend to be who you're wanting to talk to. That's why I asked for a photo. I'm
Mhm.
not sure about you, Lori, but there's at least 100 of them around you.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest here. So what happened very quickly, and mediumship is one of my newer gifts. It came in few years ago at Christmas. I'll tell it very quickly. I worked in the NICU as a nurse, and I had there was a set of twins born very prematurely, a boy and a girl, and the boy was very, very ill. We always used to pray in the back, like literally pray there was a sick baby, that if there had to be, when it was a girl, because boys are usually sicker than girls. Makes sense, right? You only need one male with 20 females to have babies, right?
Right.
You need females. I don't know if that's true, but that was our theory. Anyways, then I started working out in the community, and somebody came on my caseload, and it was a little boy from the NICU. He was about 6 or 7 years old, and um, his mom needed services. Now, the boy wasn't acutely ill, so he came onto my caseload, but he went to what would I call it? They're called registered practical nurses. So they're a little bit, not quite, they don't take really complex stuff at the time when I was working anyways. So fast forward about 10, 15 years after that, and I'd hurt my back. It's probably about 10 years. And I was out shopping at Christmas, and I'm in Canada. So anybody that knows of Barnes and Noble, this is called Chapters, same type of company, bookstore. I ran into his mom, and as I went to hug his mom, because I'd obviously gotten to know her really well. Can't hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear
Oh,
you.
I thought you were saying I can't hear you. Sorry. Okay.
No, I was taking off my
Oh,
glasses
good.
just for a
Okay, good.
second.
Okay, because I'm always watching, and I want to say hi, Michelle, because Michelle is here. I see her. She's from Australia. So glad to have you here, Michelle. So back to this story. As I hug his mom very quickly, I hear, "Tell my mommy I love her." And I'm going, okay, where did that come from? And then she told me, she said, Dylan passed away a couple months ago, and we were both crying. And I said, you're not going to believe this, but I need to share this with you. I just heard, tell my mommy I love her. And then I had a couple more experiences like that during the week. So that's what kind of opened this up for me. But
Wonderful.
I'm still learning, but there's a reason why, and then I'll stop talking. I believe that I needed a picture. I needed a picture with the eyes and be able to see the face and a smile. The most recent one before the loved one had passed. I was recently asked to be on a show, and I said, listen, um, I usually need a little bit more time to connect, depending on the energy that comes through with the spirit from the other side. Plus, it can be very personal because I got asked at last minute to do some readings on a show. And so he knew that. I said that at the beginning of the show. Every person that called in, that's all they wanted was mediumship readings. And it did work out very well. Some very personal, beautiful things came through, and I'm very grateful for that. But I kept saying throughout the whole show, and you'll understand this, or anybody that connects with spirit, you can have a conversation in your head. And during the show, I'm going, what the hell are you doing to me? So I get off and again, conversation going, what was that all about? And I literally heard my guide say to me, did it work out okay? And I said, yes. What does that tell you? And I said that I'm limiting things by my beliefs rather than just being open to what comes through, right?
Correct.
Because that's what happens. That's what happens. Like you said, you don't consider yourself, we won't use the word psychic, but intuitive, but to be able to connect with animals in on this plane on Earth that have not passed over yet.
They love us and they got a lot to say too.
Yes. Oh, hi, Christina.
Hi,
She's
Christina.
here. She's hi, Katrina.
I love you, girl.
Yes.
Home.
I just recently, I've
person.
always kind of known Katrina, or not Katrina, Christina, and I'm just starting to get to know her. So she's
Beautiful soul. I can just tell you, wonderful person. And I've been to her home. She's opened up her home to us. Great people, her animal too, and she'll know I talked with her fur baby too. So yeah, she's one that'll tell you. So Christina loves her baby, and she also had one that had crossed over, and her husband did not believe. But once again, things that came out that there's no other way but to tell you, yeah, Zena, that's it. But
yeah, so for people listening, the message is love you big, Katrina, from Christina. She says, and yes, Zena is still active with spirit.
Oh, just love it.
Michelle's a supporter of the show. She's way over in Australia, probably getting ready for work. She's probably going to come up with some amazing questions because she usually comes up with some really interesting questions for us.
Yes. I love those are my favorites. Are the ones that don't believe, but then especially our guys. I'm going to just tell you, I'm not saying all, but they give me the hardest trouble, and I'll walk into a place and I just love it because I'll be like, and you, and by the time you leave, they are got tears in their eyes, and they know that the stuff that was being said, that there was no other way than their fur baby telling them. And guys want to know that they're loved too.
Well, and you know what? I've always hated that. And you're an amazing mom. And I know that with my boys, I've always tried to
here.
What's that?
My sons are right here listening to the show.
Hi, boys. I won't call you out. Don't worry. I won't call you out, but I say hi. But what I was going to say is I've tried to raise my boys that it's okay to be able to express emotion.
That makes you human. That doesn't make you male or female. It makes you a human being. And that's what I raised my boys to do too.
I know, but it's important because, like you said, you run into guys and things like that. And it's not all guys that don't believe. We're not trying to say that, but sorry.
Correct.
I have a bad back if you see me moving. That's why I'm moving.
I'm sorry.
But that's okay. I just want to explain because people will see me squirming all over and then they'll think, I don't even think about it. I just move. And, it can be distracting. So
is your butt itchy? No, I'm just kidding. She said not.
No, I promise. No, I
use your hands.
I use my hands. My hands are here.
That's the best part of being
I'm wearing a shirt today. I usually have a rock shirt on because it's part of the Angel Rock thing, but I made this shirt for the new show. It says, "What's at the foot of your bed?" It's got a big bunch of scary eyes. So Christina says, it's true. My husband opened up more about experience that he's had about spirit. It helps to know that I'm not crazy. I want to go there with that because you know what? Like I know that you're affectionately and lovingly saying weirdos, but haven't you found this as well, that when you're talking to people, and we're not usually the ones that bring it up, but somebody will bring it up, and then you start to talk about it. It could be a whole group of people. We're not on the topic of the paranormal, but once somebody opens that door a crack, 95% of people have had strange, unusual, unexplained things or whatever. Have you noticed that?
Guys, it's no, it's always happening. And you don't have to open up a crack. All you got to do is be aware.
Mhm,
For example, the right now, if you were to stop, there's probably thousands of different shows that are playing right now. All you have to do is go and turn on that channel. You just got to
mhm,
tune it in. But it is going on right now in the air. I we're designed, intuition, hairs on it. Just know that something's wrong with your kid. All of these is part of that exact
mhm,
same um ability, that same tap in. It's
mhm,
just that some are a little bit better than others. And I use that
mhm.
scenario
Yeah.
of I can sing, but you aren't going to pay to come and hear me sing.
Yeah, me too.
It just doesn't, but I have the ability to do it. I can practice and practice. I'm just not going to get to the
Yes.
part like that, no matter
Mhm.
what I do. Some are just, that's what we're in. Some have a little bit more of the other, but we all got that piece. That's
I'm
it.
so glad you used that example because I usually say, just like some people are natural born athletes or musicians or whatever it may be, everybody has a gift and talent. Does it mean you can't learn to do other things? Yes, you can still learn to do other things, but you may not be like a pro athlete, right? But
That's all.
you can
That's all.
get pretty good at something
Exactly.
depending how much time and effort and practice you put into it.
So getting to back to Christina saying that not crazy, that is
Mhm.
so true because we need to have validation because of it is so outside of the norm. That's why it's called
Mhm.
paranormal. And you
Yeah.
do need to have concrete evidence somehow, some way, just to get you out of that crazy feeling. That's
That's where I
like
was going
crazy.
with that when I said you open the door. Like, say, I always said that sometimes I feel like when you're going through an experience like we did, it can be very isolating because you're not going to chat about it in the grocery store line. But what I meant is, say you're
Hey,
out at a
I
party
do.
or something, and
Grocery Forever Friends are in grocery lines.
well, yes, with
Girl
Furever
that
Friends.
did
But I'm talking about complete strangers you've
my
never met, right?
ultrasound lady wound up being a forever friend.
Oh, well, yeah, that can get a bit personal, but she's a professional. She knows, like, keep it
I know
confidential.
we're
But
just
where
sitting
I
here
was going
talking.
with it is
Sorry.
it's okay, was everybody sort of thinks it's weird and it can be taboo to talk about is what I'm talking about, like a room full of strangers.
True.
But one person, when I say they open that door a crack, then you realize, holy crap, I'm not alone. Like everybody's had these strange, weird
So
experiences, is
true.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like
you're right.
we're going through it, but we're not all talking about it. We're not all believers in it, right? Yes, there's thousands of shows about this, and I'm glad
Yes.
it's opening the door,
Yes.
but it's still not mainstream the norm.
That's right. And I also taught my sons that um, you know, for example, alien
Yeah.
or ghost or spirit, I think that they're exactly the same. Meanwhile, I told him all it takes is one person out of that 100 or that 1,000 or that million. That's all it takes is one. And that's how you go in it. The rest is listening and gathering your own
Yes.
um conclusion,
Yeah.
so I don't think anything is wrong, bad,
Mm-mm.
crazy,
It's
or
just an
off the wall.
experience. It's
It's
just an experience. We're eternal, immortal souls, energy, if you want, right? And you've heard this a million times too. We're just here having a human experience in this lifetime. We go on forever, right? And you help people realize, because I'm still shocked. And I always say it's not my job to judge, so I'm not saying this with judgment, at the amount of people that believe there is no afterlife. Like, I have studied near death experiences professionally and personally for over 40 years. I believe I had one as a toddler, but the amount of people that actually believe there is no afterlife. So that's why I love what you do.
That is my favorite, and my favorite part is coexisting. When
Mhm.
I could sit down, whether it's on my notes that I just sent you right before we're about to talk, or while
Mhm.
we're talking in front of each other, and I
Mhm.
give you something that you just did before it got to your apartment or your place or where you were sitting, saying what, that's coexistence to its freaking highest. I
Mhm.
wasn't there, and I am not a psychic. I didn't tap into your thoughts or anything. It's because your loved ones told me they were there waiting to communicate with you and want you to know. And
Okay, so I got to stop you right there then. And I'm not trying to prove a point or anything.
no,
So why do you think you can connect with animals in the now? They're here, they're in physical form.
because
They
they
have,
love us. They got things to say too, and they just happen to
yeah,
know that I can hear them. So they immediately, I don't have to ever
yeah.
have to tell an animal or spirit that I hear them. It's like they already know. For
I
example,
had a lady show up at, okay, this is crazy what you're talking about. I'm going to validate for you. It wasn't an animal, but it was I was on a show. Actually, the one I'm going to right after this, because it's her last show tonight. I'll mention that at the end of the show. Anyways, somebody had she was doing a series called Into the Mind, and she uses the word psychic because it's recognizable to people. It was questions they always wanted to ask people. But we all gave away something. So I make resin. So I made a crystal resin piece with crystals and I put Reiki into it and the whole thing, right? But I also gave away a reading. So the gentleman that won for me eventually said, I kind of feel like maybe I need a reading. And I don't ask, the least amount of information I know, the better, right? Because then I know it's coming from spirit or whatever. So he had just been in the hospital. He almost lost his life. And he's such an unusual thing that happened. I'm not going to give away his information, obviously. My whole point is I woke up, it was Saturday night. I had the reading booked. I wake up in the morning. There's this elderly lady at the end of my bed. Was she there physically? No. And she kept repeating the message over and over and over and over. She knew I was doing the reading with this gentleman that night. She knew. And so when I did the reading and I passed along the message, and he said, I have no idea what that's about. So we started talking and talking and talking, and I'm giving him more messages from his guides and stuff. Towards the end, he knew it was his grandmother. The whole thing all just, I'm getting goosebumps, just all interconnected. It interconnected with what he had gone through physically, why he had gone through it, why she was there. It was just one of the most incredible, beautiful readings. And I'm so grateful I had that opportunity. But like you said, they know what we're doing. They know the whole thing, right?
always.
Like you said, you don't have to
And
ask
they
them.
know when you're going. Let me give, okay, investigators. I have had the luxury of investigating with some of our tops in the field,
Mhm,
even on TV,
mhm.
our most haunted places that you guys see on TV.
No, yeah, you haven't. Mhm.
I must tell you, if you're going to reenact, you have to do it at home. You have to
Mhm.
figure it out at home. You have to cleanse your body before you leave your home. They know you're coming. They know
Oh,
you're
yeah.
going to try to play investigation. They know this. So I just like to inform them. I've been on ones where they're going, okay, we're going to do lockdown. We're going to let's do a reenactment or whatever. And they're laughing. It's
Yeah.
hilarious.
That's what
You don't think that that they know when you walk to the door. The moment that you have decided and paid for your ticket or whatever it may be, they're aware. So I just thought that I'd tell you, thank you, Ed, love you.
Yes,
But
yes.
it's
No,
true,
they
so do it before
do.
you go.
Mhm. They know you're coming. That's why,
Yeah.
yes, that's why I find it funny sometimes. Or the other thing is, could there be something to this 3 o'clock a.m. that everybody's talking about, that the veil is so thin? I guess, but it's 3 o'clock somewhere always. And plus, the other thing people don't realize, and I know Seraphine and I that used to do a show on the network here, we talked about this, and I never thought about it till she brought it up quite a few years ago. But things happen in the daytime too, right? It's just people are more aware, or as aware in the daytime of things that happen versus it's quiet and make
It
people try to make it
always
spooky?
happens all the time. Daytime, more. I go anytime. I just want to let you know it doesn't matter. If you're
I
looking to
know it
go out,
doesn't matter.
they are easier to get in the dark just because, but the communication, there is no time frame in spirit.
Yes,
They aren't
exactly.
sleeping, they're partying, they're doing what they want, and they're messing with us.
Oh,
You're
Michelle just said time means nothing. Hi, Judy Thompson. Welcome. Yeah, I was wondering where everybody was because normally we get all kinds of people, and it was that's why I was checking my phone. Did I not set something up right? Or are you open to if anybody has any questions at all, say from a pet from the other
absolutely.
side?
That's what
I
you
knew
came
you
here
would
for,
because
Lori.
you've done it before. So
Absolutely.
yeah, spirit happens when it's needed. And so Howie, he's under Ed here. He says
I
it depends
know.
on the investigator, yet activity is 24/7. And Michelle from Australia says, oops, I just hit the wrong button. Basically, there's no time on the other side. She said, hang on, I hit the wrong button here, Katrina. She said, in time means nothing, right? And then she said, in the other realms. And I agree. There is no time and space on the other side.
No. Interstellar is the best movie to prove similarity of how that works.
I haven't watched it. I'll have to watch. I don't
I
watch a lot
use
of
that
TV.
so well. I know that the movie indicates our future humans, but go in the movie and think of it as our spirit friends. And the way that they pull out time threads, it's string theory at its finest. They're happening
Okay.
absolutely at the same time, but to be able to put a definite on is only like what we do, talking to the other side and how it's done at the exact moment. For example, Lori, many of my forever friends they're all special to me. That's why I call them that. But
I
there's
know.
ones that are a little bit more connected. And I will get messages in the middle of the night, morning, 24/7, and it'll just be sometimes 2 words to that person or whatever. And it is always smack dab at the time that it is related to them. Another
That they need it.
so I used to hold out and wait to call the next morning or send a text in the morning or whatever. I no longer do that. And when I'm doing readings and a vision comes through during that, I know it's a now moment. So I'll put a date, a timestamp on it. Let them know. One of my favorites is sitting there talking to a reader. I don't even have a visual of her. And all of a sudden I say, why do I see rabbits? That's an unusual thing. You send me a picture back. Her granddaughter
Yeah.
was in FHA or the one for Future Farm of America, and she
Okay. Yeah. I got you. Yeah.
just got her rabbit, and it was in front of the mother. I just love those things because yes, I am amazed at when that happens, and so tickled pink because that just means even more confirmation to the person that's getting the message. And if they tell you to go buy a house and you were looking at that one and was wondering, I would say that that's pretty confirmation. Go get that house.
Yeah.
That's my
So
thing.
we are starting to get some questions here.
Fabulous.
I want to say a quick hello to, we've got Ida here. I think I said hi to Judy. I hope I haven't missed anybody. But
Ida,
Judy
I do
was
see. Can I go to Ida? I apologize. I just saw what she said. If any messages came through,
okay.
and
Yeah, you
I
go where you
said,
need to go, honey.
Ida, I have like a salt and pepper looking animal in front of me, mid-sized shape. And the reason why I'm going to go with the male is because of the dominancy, but that doesn't mean that it can't be female, but a very dominant soul that is coming for. And I'm supposed to let you know that the shaking of the tail is because of being very happy and everything. So I hope that makes some sense to you, Ida. And this animal, I believe, is a dog, in my opinion. And I want to let you know that I also can see the print. So that particular one was very important to you. Almost feels like it was in the beginning of maybe the first of the 5. I don't know why I just heard that, but first of 5. So I hope that makes some sense. They might have been the very first one. hope you get it, because
She will. She'll understand. She will.
boy, he
Mhm.
is so, and like I said, a he, but loves you very much. And it's very interesting because the ears are the kind of that stick up, not the kind that lay down, kind that stick up like this. And it's weird. I hope this makes sense too, but look at how I got them on. They're not even. So I think that one ear would be up a little bit more than the other. That's how
Oh,
it works.
okay, that's cool. Now we've got a few people actually from my city that don't usually answer. So I'm gonna go. Is Judy okay? Because we've got a message. Oh, Debbie, I didn't say hi to you. It's quiet over here in Facebook. Everyone is on YouTube tonight. LOL. So that's Debbie Grasberger. You know her from Jason's show. Talk about Jason often on the show. I do want to also add that Howie said Katrina gave the info on his network and the new direction years ago. So we've got Diane De Silva asking, who's a friend of mine from childhood, and we've got Judy also. So is anybody that you want me to go to first? I'll put Judy's up. She was first, but if not, if Diane, her dog's name is Lily. She said that passed away. If you had any messages too.
Okay, Judy, when you said 3 dogs, if possible, were 2 of them related, or uh, come into the family together, almost very close? It's almost like they're brother and sister kind of feeling. I want to tell you that the third one that they're informing me has already made its way back to this world. So don't be surprised that if you do have another fur baby, or one comes along, that those tendencies of, and it looks like light colored hair is the one that I feel that came back this way, like reddish, kind of like the brown that's at the bottom of your thing below me in your thing.
She
It's kind
said
of
yes,
brown.
yes. So
So
you're right on so
please,
far. She said yes, and then she goes, "Aw."
so please don't be surprised that they'll have tendencies of doing the same thing or whatever. I find that there's characteristics that follow us into the next meat suit. That's what I call a meat suit.
Yeah.
So and the 2 that are there together, long and short hair, yes. I am supposed to inform you that the smaller one that you gave Mercy. So please don't feel like somehow I kind of feel like you might be feeling like, was it too quick of the decision needed that you made? And it wasn't. It was all done in God's time. I hope
Thanks
that
for
makes sense.
that. Well, she's already confirmed some stuff. So Diane asked, I have a pet named Lily who passed away. I'm so sorry, Diane. I know how much that Lily meant to your family in August 2021.
Now the first thing that I get when a Lily that comes forward is that I'm finding that you're getting signs, Diane. It's almost like I'm seeing a bird or things that fly near you. You may even feel like something had just went by. This Lily is consoling you in the highest of way. So I do know that you have a picture of her. For some reason, I feel like it's in a frame that has an outside hole to it. The picture looks like it's about maybe a 5x7 and a really nice frame. I kind of feel like there's more than one person in the picture, so I think that it might be you and Lily. And then I'm seeing a box next to it, so I'm wondering if you had Lily cremated and have her ashes. I hope that you'll be able to get back to me on that, because I also see a plant.
Oh, good. So Judy,
Yeah.
I wanted to give you some confirmation back. So Judy said the dogs, she mentioned Blossom, Jessie, and Mindy, and she said thank you. Now, Ida, who you went to first. Hey, Dave, nice to see you. And Howie says back to work. Loves ya, ladies. Shared out to the travelers, Fox and Erie. So he's got a network as well, Howie, and he's a friend of the show. So Ida wants you to know that was the first one that you read. I forgot that I know her quite well. She said, I came to Canada because she's from the UK with 5 dogs. Well, 5. She said 2 were border collies and 3 were Great Danes. Because remember, you said of the 5.
Of the I did. Please remember, I
You
am.
did.
I
Yeah,
don't remember
yeah,
what
you
said. Thank
I
you.
know that's what happens when you read, right? Like sometimes you're just like,
Because
I
you're
always say I'm just the
repeating.
mailman and you're just like delivering. You don't even
Actually,
remember
you know
half
what
of
I like to say? When you watch closed caption, or if you see somebody that's back there doing this,
it. Yeah.
and I don't know how to do it. I'm not trying to be rude, but
Yeah.
sign language. They're probably not remembering what's being said, or a court reporter. They're just
No.
doing you're
Translating.
repeating. So I have her in a nice picture.
That's Lily. Yes. Yes.
Lily
Yeah.
loves you so much. And when you come home, she's always going in circles, just like she used to. Please know that you did everything that you were supposed to, and that I'm supposed to take the woulda, coulda, shouldas away from you, Diane, because you were a wonderful fur baby mommy.
Oh. And so people know that when you hear what Katrina just said, what Lily is still doing. Our pets are with us. Like I just mentioned Debbie. I was talking to Debbie Grassberger years ago on Skype. And we were live like this. And Debbie was in, and she said, "Thank you, Diane." Debbie was laying back in her bed, and all of a sudden I said to her, did you used to have a cat that laid on the pillow next to you? Because there is now Spirit, you're calling Spirit in. Look who's here. Comes over all the time. As soon as Spirit comes in. Anyways, I was talking to Debbie, and like I said, this cat, and you could see through the cat. I said, I swear to God, there is a cat on the pillow next to you. He's flicking his tail. He's just looked at you. He's grooming himself. And she said, she gave me permission. I can say the name. And she said, oh my goodness, that was my Boo. His name was, or her name was Boo. And she passed away about a year ago. So she asked me to take a picture of the screen. So I did. She still has the picture. So our pets do,
That's
right? I'll stop talking.
wonderful.
Pass along more.
No, it's true, because when I had my show, I just slowed it down so I could do things in town. And I have a gentleman that's on. It's still on my YouTube. He didn't believe, he didn't know, but he sat in front. Him and his wife were there, and they just lost their fur baby. And I, just like you, right there, she got on the table, was on, and immediately I was describing what his animal was doing. He busted out crying, because he knows that that's what his animal does. I'm just telling you, it's real, and you're not stopping them from being where they want to be. I just want you to know that there's no lockdown in heaven. There's no lockdown. They get to go where they want. They get to enjoy being with the people that they love, including their fur baby mommies and families. Yeah. And as you know, one is already back. So I love those. They love us so much.
They come back, and I'm so glad you
yeah.
answered that, because I've had people that do this type of work that have told me that no, they never reincarnate back. There's no way that they don't. And I can tell you, my cat that's in this room, I swear he is the reincarnation of Jesse, who I had when I was 18. He looks like him, almost identical. They don't always look alike, I know that, but he looks like him. He acts like him. He is incredible.
There it is. That's all you need.
And I had a dog too, but they were the exact opposites of each other. But they weren't even the same breeds, but they ended up, as she grew up, she's now in spirit, Miley. But Miley looked just like the dog I had named Tiffy, but they were exact opposites in temperament. Whereas Miley was the sweetest angel on the planet. Tiffy, please forgive me, I'm not being, for anybody hearing this, being disrespectful, but I used to call her Demon Spawn because she was evil.
I had a cat that's what her name should have been.
Yeah. Well, sometimes we do, but I always say we don't get the pets that we necessarily want. We get the pets that we need. I really believe that, right? Because I think they're earth angels, that they're here to help us on our journey in life. What's your thoughts on that?
I've never put a thought into it, really. I think that my thought on reincarnation is a gift. Every one of the thousands and thousands of readings I've done, I've found in my teachings that it's always been a request, and that whoever our maker, God, whatever you want to call the person, he, she, whatever, I haven't met him, but our maker grants it. And that's what I see. So if they came back, and I don't think it's a luck of the draw. I feel like it's, if you're granted it, then it's your request. So if you're a dog, you want it to be of a dog, I just, that's just how it feels.
I meant the earth angel thing, because to me, I don't think you can see a better epitome of true unconditional love
I agree
than
with
the love
that.
of
I
an
like
animal.
that.
That's what
like
I
that.
mean. That's where I was going with that, is what I meant.
Okay.
Because
I like that.
Yeah, because I think they're here to help us be who we're supposed to be, or mirror maybe something even we need to work on, or whatever
Yes.
it may be. Mm-hmm.
And they're always there to cheer us up regardless.
Oh, I
I
adore them. Like, and you'll get people that don't understand that people that maybe call an animal a fur baby or like their kids, but to them they are. I've had this conversation with my boys, because my previous German Shepherd, Shiloh, died in my arms, and my oldest was with me at home. I think he was barely 20. And I said, honey, I do you really want to be here for this? And he said, Mom, I'm going to probably have to do this someday. So yes. So we never want our kids to see things that would hurt them or whatever, but he was there. Same as Miley. Both of them were ill, and we kept them at home comfortable and let them, they weren't suffering. If they were suffering, of course, I would never have done that. It was a natural type passing, but
I have something that came through. There's a Dave. That's the one I was.
That's Dave. He's a friend of the show. Mm-hmm.
Dave, I don't know why, but the first thing I get is an animal with a squish face kind of look. So like snarl kind of look. I'm hoping you might be able to explain that. I don't feel like they look like that all the time, so that's why I'm not calling it a bulldog. But I kind of feel like it did this little face, and I hope that if you can confirm it, I got more for you, because this dog sleeps on the pillow. I don't think you're wanting to hear that, but it sleeps on the pillow.
Oh, he will, because he said, where is she right now? Dave's in our world, as I call it, our world. Not that it's exclusive, but Dave is an astrologer. He's a scientist. He's been part of the Oak Island Project with that reality show and stuff. He's been on the show before, and he's usually here.
He's part of Oak Island show?
Yep.
I like that show. Come on, guys, give me something I can see. No, I'm just kidding. I'll play with you.
Yeah, we need some more, you guys.
I love that show. I just want more. I want to see more.
She doesn't just talk to animals. So if you guys have some loved ones on the other side. Oh, he goes, she does look, what did he say? She does look different now, I believe, he said.
Well, they usually do, but I'm talking about the way that she would look at you, give you that little snarl, like her mouth would go together. Just like how an animal can be panting and you swear that that's a smile. This particular one, like, looks like his nose is like this, and I think it would have something to do with like maybe not getting her favorite food and give you like her nose up and finicky, or and
I'm going to let my baby out, open the door. I'll be right back. I can hear you.
And also, Dave, I think that another reason why I got that would be if you would give in and give her whatever she liked, kind of thing. So I'm hoping that makes some sense, that she had you wrapped around her little finger, and and that little look would get her whatever she wants. That's just how I guess that would be the best way to place it.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that is so cool. So like I said, if you guys have some loved ones on the other side too that you'd like to hear from, like I said, Katrina gets on a roll here, and it's like, holy cow. No, while we're waiting for someone, he said, thank you. Dave said, thank you. Because what I was going to add too, my brain is all over the place tonight. I've got a million things going through my head. It was something to do with, oh wait, Christina added, Zena makes a face when I brush her teeth. It's scary till I kiss it and say, quit smiling.
I love that.
I was going to say that you get on a roll when you start doing readings. So like I said, this is just
be on a roll unless somebody understands it. So I didn't want Dave to make it.
Oh, no, but I meant that once you start reading, like, we get in that mode. But what I'd like to talk to about, maybe while we're waiting for people to type some questions, is oh, if you can, oh, he's going to ask you a tough question, Dave. First of all, I was going to say I was going to ask something else, but we'll answer. I don't know if you can answer this. We can see who built Oak Island.
You're not going to like my answer. It's going to be the same thing that Lori got. I believe it's alien. So there you go. That's my.
Yeah. Yep.
There you go. That's what I got. Can I?
I was going to say, what I really got was they're not going to really tell you. I'm sorry, but
that's what I got. And I truly believe that it came from underneath the water, like it was Rosen, like submersibles or whatever. That's my opinion. I don't believe that it
Dave's
was
into Alien. So Dave's into Alien. He
wants to know. Well, that's my opinion. That's what I feel. And I feel like it was rose from above. I feel like it came from under the water, not something that was piled on top. I don't know. That's just how I feel. It comes from underneath. So I think that most of the secrets are going to be underneath.
Okay. Well, we'll have to wait. Oh,
I like that you said which race, because I
know.
I got some photos, Dave. I got photos. So my thing is I'm going to stick mainly with the grays. And I don't say that grays in all race are bad, just like ours. You can't take human and say we're all bad. My experience have been always in a helpful manner. And
so he said, oh, it was under and then came up. He goes, wow, great.
That's what I feel.
Hearing this.
That's my first, that's the first thing that I get.
So Judy says, I have a grandson on the other side. So I guess she's asking if you might be able to connect with him, if you have any messages for her.
Okay. The first thing that I want to get is this grandson's coming back. All right. The meat suit, and I didn't mean that in a bad way, but the body was not, of course it wasn't up to par because it failed your grandson. Okay. I want to share with you that there's going to be a flip. I don't understand, but I do believe that the next child that comes to your family is going to be a girl. And what I'm getting from this child is, at first I was thinking it was the chest area, but I'm going further down into like a little bit lower of the chest cavity kind. So I guess maybe liver or whatever, right where the I don't know the anatomy of the body very well, but right at the very bottom of the ribs where they start. It feels like
so, like the spleen or the liver, or lower small intestine or anything like that.
Just not like it didn't come together correctly or whatever, and that it had nothing to do with the mommy. Mommy needs to know that she did not do anything, and her body did not fail her. Just some things happened this way, and I can see that this spirit will be coming back. So I'm hoping that this makes some sense for you. And
so Judy,
I'm also finding a book. Hold on, Judy. There is a book that I'm seeing that when I open it, it's a small. I feel like it's only like about 7 inches tall or whatever. I feel like there's photos in these maybe 4x6 size, because I think that's the size that you can get in. And when I open up, the first thing that I'm seeing is you. So I feel like these could be your memories. Tell everyone he's okay.
I was going to add, and I'm sorry, Katrina, I thought you were finished. That's why I stopped right away.
I'm sorry.
No, I wanted you to continue, because what I was going to add is, so Judy, I want you to file that away, and then I will pass it on to, no, Dave's going to ask you a million questions about Oak Island, but I want Judy for you to hang on to that, because I can tell you, honestly, Katrina has predicted so many babies, not predicted, received messages from the other side.
They're coming, correct.
Yeah, like so many. We were talking before we came on air. I believe it was on air. And we wouldn't give away any confidential details, but this person that she was mentioning didn't think they'd ever have children, and you told her they were going to have them, and the sex of them and everything. It was correct.
Married, and she's like, no way. Well, she's on number 2, married, and I was over there for the ring. But yeah, I've even had ones, and this is true statement. You guys can go and find them, because you know that I take screenshots of my my recommendations. I don't want people to think that I made them up or whatever. I want them to see them. And I had one that I just left her house. Her dad said that there was a baby. That woman took a pregnancy test after I left the home and contacted me within an hour that I got home. I'm pregnant. I was like, well, he said you were. So
Yeah.
it was that quick. So I don't know.
No, you get incredible, I'm gonna say basically validation. People will you don't even ask for it. People will write you back because they're like, holy cow, I never thought this would ever happen, or it was happening, or I didn't know I was pregnant. Like I've been trying for years, or like there's so much, honestly. And you guys know me enough, either personally or have seen the show. I'm not going to tell you something that's not true. I am telling you, she gets all kinds of things. So Judy, I think this is important for people that may just be listening or in the replay. I knew he wasn't going to live. She said, talking about her grandson. Thank you. I'll let my son and daughter-in-law know I loved him. Thank you so much. I needed to hear this. God bless you both. God bless you, Judy.
His body just wasn't developed right inside. There's some things that just, and it had nothing to do with it, but he's coming back and loves you guys. Oh, there's something else. By any chance, did you guys release balloons? Because I'm seeing messages or little notes being sent into the sky. I hope that's another confirmation for you. Those are the things I love doing.
Oh, I'm glad. She said, I had a dream 2 weeks before he died. I knew he was not well, but didn't know what exactly.
So sorry for your loss.
I am too.
But your grandfather was there for him when he crossed over. So, and he smells like he smokes and lots of cologne.
She goes, yes, my son and sorry, that was Michelle. Hugs, Judy. Everybody's supporting her, and that's so kind. Judy said, yes, my son
I
and
knew
daughter.
you did, because your loved one said.
That's what everybody's saying. Sorry. So yeah, but he will give you stuff, guys. You okay, Katrina? You need to grab a drink.
Okay, I'm better.
Okay, guys, I'm going to tell you, if the stream is locking up a little bit, again, it shouldn't be, but if it is, they gave me the wrong router. I have my Wi-Fi extender set up, so tomorrow is the last day, so this should not happen again. Oh, she said that's wonderful. Her grandpa was there, but our loved ones, right? And I would see this working in palliative care. And I always believed people when they would be right at the end and they'd be in bed and talking and they'd be looking and they'd be going, have maybe a little bit of strength to say, you can't see them. There would be either angels or loved ones. There's also something I call the gift. I'm writing a book about it where not everybody, but a lot of people, someone's terminally ill, will have a few moments, sometimes a couple of hours of clarity that they will be like they were before they got ill. But right before they pass, I've seen this so many times, and many nurses will say this, that
because their angels are with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, somebody's with them. They're never alone. Never, ever. On fire, Katrina. She said, Christina said, balloons were released. That was from Christina, she said. So maybe I missed that. Oh, she said, yes, my son and daughter-in-law did. Now I remember what that meant about the balloon. She said, my son and daughter-in-law did. Christina, you figured that out, because I thought maybe you were talking, Judy, about that your grandson was ill, that maybe they knew. But no, that was the answer about the balloon. So you got that one right on. So let's see what Michelle says. I felt a hand on my leg a few hours before my dad passed. I wonder if it was my mom. So I guess she's asking that.
It was. And Michelle, your mom came for your father with her hair up because that's the way he liked it. I hope that and it's very softly up, elegantly, and he liked just a few little of those little curls, just or little pieces of strands hair coming out, and it was just like when they had met. So I just want to let you know that it was a beautiful reunion.
Aw. And that's the beautiful thing about it. It's so hard for us because time really does go by slowly here, but with no time on the other side, and because we're immortal, eternal beings, it's literally like a blink of an eye, this lifetime that we're living right now, right, Katrina?
It's so I'm going to tell you, let me tell you a story. I'm a very uptight person. Things have to be like in my face for me to understand. I can't get it for myself. But Christmas time, I have a Coach purse. We all know that those are expensive, right? Really nice and jeweled out. It's a little clutch.
I bet I'd love it.
1200 I got $1,200 in it, cash money. I'm out shopping. I was at Walmart at the self checkout. I got to make that so clear. I left my purse. It was 2 hours later after putting things away that I had realized that I didn't have it. Now,
Oh
any
my
other
God.
time in my life, I would have been just like you. I would have. I would have been. And what I'm trying to share with you is that not my forever friends, I learn from you. I learn from your loved ones. I learn from your messages. And what is to be will be, no matter what I can do about it, doesn't change it. And I was now my boyfriend went like berserk for me, he's like, oh my God, and he's having
Yeah.
an anxiety attack. My sons were. I can honestly tell you, I did not have no anxiety. I drove softly there. It was there. It was there.
Yay!
Everything was there. I think it's an awesome story. It's true. But the part that I loved most about it that I want to share with the rest of you is that I'm an uptight girl. I'm a woman that likes to take control and need to have control. And I've learned that I got to put control into what will be. And that's just, it's so much easier, so much more on me. And I think that once we can grasp that, it's so much easier.
It's hard, but you know what? And I am getting there. I would still be sick about it. But you know what? And this is one of the things, and again, we do learn from people around us if we choose so. So I can tell you that not one person that I have ever had say that is palliative and towards the end has ever said, "Oh God, I didn't make enough money. I didn't travel enough. I didn't get it. I didn't get my yacht that I wanted. I didn't get all these things." You know what I've always heard is, and I felt so unbelievably blessed and grateful to have been asked to be part of a family when their member has chosen to transition back home, as I call it. Every one of them, the only regrets they would ever express are, I didn't tell, whether it was a wife or a family member, whomever, how much I loved them every day, how good they were, how great they were, what they meant to me. Or there were a few regrets that I wish I'd lived in the moment, that I hadn't said when I lost that 30 pounds and I was going to go do that world travel trip across the world or whatever.
Do it. Don't do it. You do
Don't
it.
wait.
Don't put no restrictions on it.
Mhm.
It just is. And it's the hardest. I've always been a fat girl. I've lost 100 pounds so far, but
You look amazing.
thank you. It has nothing to do. I haven't changed my diet, haven't done anything, but I do believe I was in a toxic relationship for
So
21
the
years.
protection is no longer needed. So it's melting away,
I
right?
truly believe that because I'm not changing anything. So
Mhm.
I am listening to the messages. I'm understanding that we have, for example, when my kids are out there, I always have somebody watching over them, whether it's their grandfather, their
Yeah.
dad, whatever it may be. And my son gave me a call a couple weeks ago or a week ago saying that the police pulled him over. And
Oh,
they don't have the best reputation in this city.
mhm.
So he was calling to make sure. And we are armed family. We are, and I want to make this educated armed family. That's
Mhm.
so important for people to know. And
I don't have a problem with that.
nope, I don't either, but I like people to be aware. And my son's 19. He's giving us a call, and of course I'm worried for him, and he's on the phone, and the next thing he knows that he sees a second cop car call for no reason. I mean, they stopped him because of the tint on the window. But I just want you to know, guess what? I was doing a reading. I said, Calvary. I called him out. I said, go over there. And I was
And
able to finish my reading without no worry. I looked at my other son. I said, he'll get a warning. And my boys are number one. I'll go to all hell. There's nothing that can.
we've talked about that. We could be the most nicest people on the planet,
That's
but you come
right.
near our kids and you get the mother of all grizzly bears.
Woo! And I'll tell you, for me to be able to know, and I'll tell you the first time I knew that. My oldest has got Asperger's, so
I didn't know that. My son has autism, and I think we probably have talked about it, but I forgot.
Yes.
I'm glad. And so thank you
There's
for sharing that.
such a big spectrum. He's smart as hell, but he has issues, and one of them is not registering pain. So we had to be careful because he would take too hot a bath and not realize how he was scalding. He got a pin this deep into his toe because it was in the carpet somehow. A sewing needle went through the bone. I could send you the pictures. He ran 10 miles in that. I had to go to the hospital. It was so deep and embedded. So we had an appointment for surgery. They had to grind it out of the bone. I just want you to know how deep this is in. We're there at 4:30 in the morning. And just to let you know, the only reason I'm by a hospital is because of my son, because it is the worst hospital and insane asylums. I can't. So I'm sitting there and I'm surrounded by the dead and I'm getting pissed. I'm like, give me a break. I'm with my son. I'm always giving you help because that's what we do. We're earth angel. We're light workers. Mm-hmm. Do you know that the moment I looked up, my son saw me, it was Furever Friends families that I had spoke to, hundreds of them surrounded our car. And I just started bawling. And it took me just a second to recognize each one of them were there for me, to tell me I would be okay. My son will be all right. Best feeling ever. So the Furever Friends that I make, I'm going to tell you, your loved ones communicate with me and help me out without you. And so I make them in two folds.
I know that is an incredible story. And what I want to share is how grateful you shared that. But what I've always said to people, because there's so many people, I don't know about yourself, that I'm meeting, then we have a question, but I've met so many people that feel so alone. And you guys, we are never alone. Even though we may not feel them, see them, they are there. They hear you. They hold you. You're crying and you need comfort. You feel
Guess
like
what? I would bet you and I know this is going to sound bad, but I would bet my kids' lives on that. That's how much I will tell you from the bottom of the fiber of my soul. We are not alone ever.
Never, ever. So Judy said that's so beautiful, and faith-inspired transformation sent a Purple Heart. Now Rachel Dodd says, fascinating guest. Just this morning, I was wondering how I could possibly connect with my forever protector, Kramer the Shih Tzu, from the other side.
I know. Okay.
Go for it, Katrina.
Kramer loves things that sparkle and light. Okay, Rachel, and I hope that you'll be getting back that you know that it would get his attention. The Christmas tree lights would always drive him a little crazy. You need to put like a candle the time that you want to talk or to communicate. And I kind of feel like you already do, Rachel, because I see the flickering of what I would perceive as a lit candle, or it could be one of those fake ones that you press the button and it perceives to be, or you have a lamp that flickers. I'm letting you know that I already see that you're communicating with your love and your fur baby. So my statement to you is confirming to you, you've already made connection.
Awesome.
And loves you so much. There's something to do with a red ball, or it almost looks like what I'm seeing. Maybe it's a sweater because it looks like it's cable knit.
Cool.
Yeah.
She'll answer. I know she'll answer.
Red also can mean not just personal, actual. It could also mean the months. Red to me is January and July.
There you go. There you go. She'll write back. I know she will. If not, I know I'll be able to give you confirmation from some of
Thank
these
you.
people that you've read for. I know I
I hope
will.
so.
She will. I know she will. So we've got, and then I'm going to read Ida's because it was a little longer. Sorry, Ida. I will share what you shared though. It's a good comment. So faith inspired transformation. I agree completely. There is no such thing as death. There is only dropping the physical body or the meat suit, as you referred to it. But it's true.
Yes.
It's true. So Ida shared, I think it was an experience more than anything. So she said, I'll read it from here. In England, my brother attempted suicide. I had never drove to the southeast. We loaded up and went 4 hours to the big city in Kent in the UK. He had ripped out his tubes, and the hospital did not know he had gone. My heart sank. I said to Spirit, I need you. Like now, we have to find him. Back to the car, I headed, driving ahead, taking a left, next right, drive ahead, keep going, take a right, and on and on. In one of the biggest cities where none of us had been before, we pulled up right behind him long before the police because Spirit helped
You
her
were
find
let.
him.
I
I
love
think,
that. I love that you followed. What did you have to lose? I want to let everybody else out there. What do you got to lose to
yeah.
investigate or to inquire?
Mhm.
The churches are going. They don't need to know, and I trust you that I promise you that is not going to stop you from getting to heaven and to the other promised land, whatever it
Ooh.
may be. Please.
This is from Rachel. You just did about Kramer. Yes, he always wore red. Red coat, red cable sweater, red harness. Love you both and love you too, sweetie. Thanks for validating what Katrina shared with you. So you know your baby's around. You know you can communicate with them. That's so cool.
I love
So
it.
we got a question from Faith Inspired Transformation. I would love to know about my dad and his transition.
He went happy. I want to let you know he went happy. And what I see is dancing feet. So there's two things that means to me, Faith. That means that, first of all, he may have been, his legs may have been failing him in this world. And also I take it that he's a guy of dancing, the music. Um, you I hope that you know this. Do you remember that movie, Footloose? I don't know
Yes.
why he just brought that up. And they sit there and they do their feet like this. That could be something that maybe dad didn't do, but you do, the movie or whatever. I always like to bring in some things that I recognize. But Faith, he went happy. And the reason why I feel that is because your dad is sharing with me a man that did get to say his goodbyes, a man that did say he loves you. None of those areas, just like Lori was stating that you found that some wish that they had said more of those.
Mhm.
And it's very interesting because I smell this very light perfume. I kind of feel like it's a body spray or a body splash, which would be grandma.
Mhm. Aw. Well, she'll let us know. But Michelle, I was hoping you were going to ask Michelle because I know she's had a really, really rough time. She said, could I ask anything from my dad? I miss both my parents so much. I just skipped.
Did your dad used to wear glasses and didn't like wearing them? Would he carry them around and then wonder where they were all the time? I'm finding a person that would misplace, like myself. I got like 80 of them everywhere, and they always
Me too. Over
they
here, about
might not be
24.
where I need them to be, and they're all packed into one chunk. I just feel like this is like and once again, yes, okay, that's
Yes.
what I wanted to get. I want to let you know that this guy right here is very simple. It doesn't take much to make him happy. And one of the things that I see is there's something in his hand. So I'm wondering if you received. I feel like it might be either a medal or some kind of a pin. I feel like it's in my hand. It has weight to it. I feel like it's something that it was that you either that dad gave you or you received it just feels like it is some type of a word of memory, and it does fit in the palm of my hand, so it can't be built no more than 2.5 3 inches, but it has some weight to it, and I do see some white stripes somehow, so I hope that makes a little sense. And what I'm looking at, I feel a silver or a white gold.
That's
He loves
beautiful.
it.
Oh, thank you for sharing that with her, because I was hoping
I
she
hope
was
she
going.
knows, because I can also feel engravement on this metal, so I definitely feel like it has some words on it.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I remember what I was going to ask you, and then we got off on something. Remember, I said I was talking. I remember. While we're waiting, if somebody for any confirmation people want to put down or whatever you may feel, or another question, what I wanted to ask you, because I think that this is something to be very interesting to people. You had mentioned that you use your gifts to help find even lost pets. How about lost people? Are you able to do that as well, or how does that work for you?
Um, I'm currently working with the Kling brothers. I don't know if you guys know Brad and Barry from Ghost Lab on Discover Channel. Um, I will only, and I repeat, I will only work on cold cases. I had worked with a active one, and I had to be the one to tell the family that he wasn't coming back, that he was on the other side.
Oh,
And he had 2 children getting off the bus, and he said the last thing I said to the family, which by the way were fighting, that he wanted to give Capri Sun and cookies to the kids, because that's what he did every single day they got off the bus. I got in the car, cried. I had mud up to my knees because I was out there looking for him just as much as they were. And I can't do that. I'm not built for it, guys. I cannot. And you got to remember, unfortunately, if I connect with your loved ones, I connected with them because they've already crossed.
mhm.
So
And it's not there's there's so much emotion involved in active cases. There can be a lot of family drama. I do follow true crime. A lot of people might think that's odd. I'm going to read some confirmations as well. The reason why I do it's the same reason why I follow hacking communities and stuff. Would I ever hack somebody? Not in a million years, but I want to understand, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? And how are you doing it? And for me, I guess working in many fields as a healthcare practitioner, and especially this psychology of things, like why are people doing this and what have you. But my reason for mentioning that, Katrina, is that a lot of people say that have to say the gifts that you do, never mind how heart-wrenching it is too, but even people that don't have the gifts that you're using find there can be a lot of drama, because there's a lot of things that go on amongst families, right? Never mind with you're missing your loved one. It just is so difficult, isn't it?
the police came and everything. I'm going to tell you, it was the absolute worst week. I tried helping, but I'm not built for that. I'm not. And
Mhm.
another thing is how am I supposed to choose? I can't do them all. I can't do all of them. I can't do them all. And I would feel bad if I chose the one that and another one needed it or whatever. I don't want to take that responsibility. But I have been on several cold cases. For
So do you
example,
work on murders? Do you work on murders? I'm asking you that for a reason, because that's a lot of things. Like there's a lot of cases right now that there's not a lot of information out there or what have you. And I was recently watching a podcast with now there's that word psychic again, but people recognize it. But they refer to themselves as psychic detectives. And it was really interesting the work that they do and how they were vetted by actually the FBI, and the FBI will use them. So
I guess you need to know the people. In my opinion, I can't just go to the police. I don't know anyone to, but
well, can you imagine? Though I have a friend that is actually moderating one of my groups, and she gets visions of what's coming or what she sees or where it is. And we had quite the conversation, because she said, I want to go to the police and tell them. I said, how are you going to tell them? They're going to think you're involved. It hasn't happened yet. And even if you said something, right?
you put yourself in a position, and mine is I have worked with ones that are, and I work with a photo where I can connect, and I have assisted in the location of a teenager twice, with everything down to the motel and the uh, a gas station on the across the way. I can't guarantee that. I can't guarantee that. And in this case, the Kling sent me a photo in October. That's all. And the only thing that it said was missing persons, cold case. So I sent him 2 pages of my stuff. And once again, just like your listeners are finding out, I need to know that you recognize the person I'm talking to, and then I'll let them continue to talk.
Yeah.
They contacted me 2 weeks ago, stating that the stuff that I wrote down had came to, that is one of the things we're on there was orange dirt. I mean, that's pretty a specific thing. And that she came from big money, old money, and it was right on the button. Orange dirt was everywhere, metal. Well, cadaver dogs have been out there. Now, this is 31 years. They contacted me, spoke for 30 minutes. In March, they're having another, they're going to get the ground penetration. I know where she's at. I also know that her head was bashed in. So when they find the bones, I can guarantee that the head is fractured and probably, the way I saw, several pieces. That's kind of exciting to know that, but that's my thing. I don't want to know nothing, and that's dead serious. I don't want to know anything. But to have those specifics, I know that I was talking to her.
That's how I feel when I do a reading, and I'll try and explain to people, like, please don't give me anything. Like, I want to know why you're coming. Like, if, because if it's something you're expecting that I can't deliver, because I get a lot of people that will ask me, like, they've had a broken relationship, for example, and they want to know from what the loved one's doing that they're no longer with, or what they thought about things. And I tell them, listen, I'm going to tell you right up front.
Get a life and don't freaking care about what they're
doing.
I
don't say it that way. What I say is,
don't worry about it. Go on, girl.
No, what I will say is, could I do it? Probably. Will I do it? Never, because that would be like me going along and just going in through every door, opening it whatever way I wanted when no one was home. And that's the way I feel about it, breaking and entering without somebody's permission. And I will not do it. So there's some people in the chat I have done a reading for, and they will tell you, I have told them that right up front, I will not do it. I can give you from your perspective maybe why things didn't help, what spirit is trying to help you in the way of healing, but no. You're more blunt than I am.
I agree.
We've got some feedback for you.
Great.
So you did a reading for Faith Inspired Transformation about her, I think it was her dad being very happy and dancing. So she said, yes, he was happy. He did go to community and he loved his country music a lot. He had dementia and was at the level of his early teens self. She said, I gave him permission to go, and it was 2 hours later when he went. And she said,
that's when the body gave out. I'm going to tell you, there is one thing that I have found that is part of the Bible that is real, that you can listen to. We have the power for choice. That's number one. That can't be taken away from us. It can't be. Number two, I find that there's a mercy in when we leave. Every one of your loved ones always share no pain. They didn't even know. They always are describing things above or as a third person, not up at you. So my thing is that the soul had done left the damn meat suit, and what you're seeing is the depletion of it unwinding. The soul feels nothing. It's in the beautiful place. The moment you told him, he was gone.
Yeah. And I've said that to people too before, that I've gotten that sometimes they're gone. They're gone long before the body expires. And
yes,
I don't think I've ever, like I said, I mentioned, I'm trying to think I said it on there. I've said it enough times. So if we're talking about it before we went live, but studying near-death experiences, whether somebody very rarely will explain a negative one versus I'll say 95% of the ones I've looked at have been all positive. I have never seen one person's account of experiencing any pain when they are no longer on this plane. They haven't completely left, but they always talk about that when they got to go back, if there was an accident, and the horrific pain they will actually feel when there was none, right?
Um, well, I don't talk with near-death experiences. Mine is all that they've already went there. I do know there is one distinct that I will continue to state I've never had, and if the ones that we talked to today,
Mhm.
not one of them said they saw the light.
Thank you.
Not one. You can watch any of my readings. None of your loved ones ever said, "Oh, I saw the
I
light."
saw
I'm
the
not
light
making
and I went
fun of
through a
it.
tunnel and
Now, near death experience, because yes, you have no oxygen. You did go over. There is no doubt. I believe every word you're telling me. Some of you people, I got to say
David
it.
explained that, my co-host, like he said, but the way they showed him, he was in a coma for 2 months, but he had where his heart had actually stopped. But he said it was like having one foot across, I call it going back home, and then the other foot was still on the earthly plane. So it was like you were almost straddling a line. So I have to agree with you. I have to agree with you. My whole point was, yeah, I've never had somebody come through either. And again, I don't do mediumship at the level you do, Katrina, but I've never had somebody
I'm
say,
not
"Oh,
that high. I don't got no level. I don't got no level. But go ahead.
I don't get quite all the details all the time that you get," then I'll say. But sometimes I do, and it's coming in better and better. But my point is, and I'm not trying to make comparisons. What I'm trying to say is I've never had somebody come through and say that either, that, "Oh my God, I saw the light and it was
It's
so painful
true.
and it was so."
It
Mhm.
isn't. It smells. Like I said, I was hoping that the one person came back and stated that uh that the father was greeted by mom with her hair up. Because I know that that was a special
That's
thing between the
Michelle.
two.
So I
Michelle.
put up her what she's
I was
answering back.
hoping that she was able. I don't know if she confirmed that, because I just know that it brings back when they first met,
Mhm,
and things, and it was very soft up, not a hard,
mhm.
uh, tight. I was just hoping that she would was able to recognize that, because it's like, to me, I think that there was some rough patches in the marriage. We all do. Nobody's calling nobody out. But to be able to go back when it was fresh, and to remember why you fell in love, that's
Mhm.
what I think the real truth, the real message was in that description.
She did say, sorry, some of that fits. I found something that was lost gold and silver because you were talking about the engraving and stuff.
Okay, so the gold, is it the smallest of the color? Because I kept seeing white, silver. So that's one thing.
She
Oh
did say thank you very
no.
much for the reading.
You're welcome. You're forever friend.
Now you're forever friends. Okay, so she said she put a good comment. She goes, "Moths fly towards the light." So that's what Michelle said. But Christina's asking you a question. So she said, "My friend was in a house fire tonight. I'm so sorry." And she said, he's in the burn unit. Not sure if his dog Whitey made it out. French called as they are looking for Whitey, she said.
Christina, the first part that I get as I was reading, she was reading this, is that I got a person that was mainly the left side and upper part of the body, I feel, is in damage. I hope that you'll be able to confirm, or you may not even know where the burns are, because the part that I'm worried about would be, if you can confirm that, that would mean that the animal in question is the one that's sharing that information with me. Now, another thing, because as you were talking, Lori, I didn't get a chance. There are two other distinct ways that I've been able to communicate with your loved ones and they still be alive.
Mhm,
Is that they're either dementia,
mhm.
in a coma. I've found that these areas, somehow I can still connect, and I do believe that our souls are out during that time.
Mhm. So do
He
I.
is burned on many parts, but my thing is that I'm seeing this area, and if that's the case, it's coming from the animal. the animal in question that you're stating, and I hope that you'll know this. The muzzle seems very furry, but also scraggly. I don't know. It's like a scraggly muffle, but the rest of his body doesn't seem to be very fluffy. So I think it's more of a short haired dog, but the muzzle seems to be wiry, maybe wiry. I hope, is that the kind of dog that we are looking for? Is odd.
Let me see if I can.
I'm hoping I'm
This
wrong.
is what she said. Yeah, you just said Whitey. French called. Oh, I'm maybe there's something missing here. If dog Whitey made it out, French called as they are looking for Whitey. So I guess they can't find the dog.
I'm thinking
That's
friends called as they're looking for Whitey.
okay. Thank
And
you.
she said the friend's name is odd. It's a rescue, and yeah, Whitey is scruffy.
Okay, not okay. Yeah, it's a rescue, and so Whitey is scruffy. Yes. So
I'm hoping that Whitey could be maybe passed out, exhausted and sleeping. But because this is how I got my info, once again, see, I don't like doing these things. That's why my guess is on that, because that's how I got the info.
I'm sorry. Yeah. She said searching for dog Whitey. Owner isn't sure if the dog made it out. The house is a total mess or total loss. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot like that either, Katrina. I'm sorry.
Okay.
She said she's heading out to search. Okay, Christina.
Thank you.
Let us know.
And Christina, this is very interesting. If it's in your neighborhood, you do know that I've been to your home. It's so crazy. Coming out of your place, you need to go out left. You know, when you go out of your house, there's this little you have this little tree that can give you like a little tea. You need to go to the left, honey. And I do definitely see water being in your area. I don't think it's flowing, but I think that there is body of water that's trickling, possibly like a stream. And I see a big tree, grayish color. And I'm thinking that the best part here that you still have a chance, because I don't feel like this dog was burned, more like smoke trouble. So I don't know, Lori, you are in the medical field. If he was to get out and have enough breathing going on, could he come out of that?
He could, and there's actually been quite a few animals that have survived because they go under something or what have you. So, like smoke inhalation.
I saw a tractor, Christina. I saw a tractor. The tractor is more of a decorative style, not real. It's a real tractor. I don't know what to tell you, but I think it's more decorative. You know, I don't think that it is operative. It looks old and it looks green.
Okay, because she said the river is there. She said, okay, I'm sending them messages now because that will help them too.
And I know that you're up. I know you're in Michigan, girl, but I for some reason I don't see a lot of snow, and I would think that you guys should have snow right now. So I'm hoping you could tell me that the snow is kind of yes, antique. That would definitely be what I would state, and green would be antique. Probably the patina or something. I'm not sure.
She said she thinks she knows where it's at.
Okay, good.
Go ahead, Katrina.
Update it. Actually, I lost my train of no snow. See, I didn't see no snow, but I know Michigan, and she's upper part of Michigan, and I would just assume. Oh, Dave wants to know what's buried. I don't know.
Dave's gonna grill you.
Send me some particular pictures that aren't on TV, Dave. I haven't been able to watch the show since I gave up. My house, if it's around with other people, like I said, I just got into a place for after 3 years. So,
well, if you don't have cable, you can message me after, Katrina. I'll share a little secret with you.
I will.
Not illegal or anything like that. It's perfectly legal.
I got nothing to say. So anyways, but Dave, I love it, but that's just that's what comes up into my head. It's always been from the day one that I watched it. I just feel like it's that it came from underneath. I think all the things are in that category.
I almost feel like it's hidden by an energy field or something, because every time I even feel into it as we're
Alien.
talking, yeah, I keep feeling like I keep hearing, "We will not show you."
Now,
I do.
now,
I keep feeling, "We're not gonna show
what if
you."
you were to propose because you use submersibles and everything like that and go down and everything? What if
Hi, Elizabeth.
yeah,
Mhm.
what and you know another thing, Dave, that I would like to ask, and I'm not sure if it's ever been brought up on the show, but I just personally see that the island itself seems to be relocating. Is it like in the most minuteness of destination? Has it moved in the water? I don't know. I
It's
don't
in
think.
Canada, I know that, and all these guys are American that are doing this, and I don't
Wow.
have a problem with it. We're brothers and sisters, all of us, but my point is, I've asked Dave this on air and off air, like, why do they let the Americans go in there? And then they did an episode, I haven't watched it in a long time, and I seen it recently, where they have somebody from the UK that's like their metallurgist with the metal detector, and one of the men's boys, the guys, the two brothers that do it.
It's
I
not
know
where
them.
it's supposed to be. I know it, Dave. I know it.
Anyways, they couldn't touch anything. So why do it on the episode? You went underwater, you went with the boat, like you mentioned the boat. They went diving. The visibility is really bad on the bottom too, but they weren't allowed to touch a thing. So why do it? I can understand.
I wonder if you could do ground penetrating or some kind of radar up underneath. I'm just feeling like there's a void somewhere there, and it's kind of like the arc. Everybody's looking for the art.
Do you really feel that? Because I keep feeling like there's stuff underneath that they can't see. Like I almost feel like there's it to me when I feel into it, look into it, it feels like there's like this shield around it. Like they're not seeing what they think is under there. Because I think they've done the ground study.
Well, we know that happened in many cases up above, of stealth
Yep.
technology. I just believe, and I love that he's saying that waiting for the solar particle map this season. I love this. That I'm sitting here talking with you. This is like super awesome. But the treasure itself, I'm going to tell you, I think the treasure itself is the map, is the island, because of I just don't feel like it was naturally made. I feel like
Mhm.
it was, brought up above to hide or whatever it may be. And there, it's cloaked, but I think that
That's a good word, cloaked, because that's what
yeah,
I feel like. Dave just added. I think it's in a different frequency, Lorilei. Yes, that's what I feel like. If you try to feel into it, it's like it feels like something like out of Star Trek, like shields up,
right.
like it's cloaked, like you're not seeing what you think you're seeing.
And I wonder, but I feel like even like the habitat might act a little different around there.
Mhm.
For some reason, like sea creatures and stuff that should be more closer to the island,
Mhm.
maybe a mile out, or I'm just giving an example. It just feels like they're out further, and we all
Ooh,
know that they do that.
maybe there's a whole alien city below. We're gonna have to do a show just on that. We are almost out of time. I told you I was gonna go by too quick, you guys. We gotta have Katrina back on again. I can't thank you so much, Katrina,
Thank
for
you.
all the messages. Tell people, please, where they can find you, they can get a hold of you, and
Thank
everything you got
you.
coming up.
Well, I do everything just by myself. I don't have nothing that is like, so I use Facebook, and Facebook has been failing me a lot. So if
Mhm.
you need to get a hold of me, Forever Friends by Katrina at gmail.com. I do 30-minute, mine's are timers. If you want to talk to someone, get assistance, where I don't break it down into different kinds of readings. It's your choice. It's just time lapsed. So I do 15, 30-minute, and 1 hour. I do home reading sessions. I do events. But you could also find me at Katrina Spiritual Medium on Facebook, Instagram, and like I said, I would love to help you. My only promise is to be honest.
Mhm. Mhm. I want to thank you. Like, I've had Katrina on here before, but like I said, I knew people were going to ask about the animal stuff. So I thank everybody that put the questions in here. If you're seeing this after right now, it's a replay because I get lots of people thinking we're still live. They're going to put all kinds of questions after. So please share this with your friends if it's something that you think they'd enjoy. We have something for everybody on this network in the way of programming. We are expanding. We are going out to Roku. On Roku TV, we'll have our own TV channel, as well as it's coming up
Nice.
on Amazon, I believe, and Apple TV very soon. So please share. There's, like I said, we are expanding leaps and bounds with new hosts. We've got syndicated shows. It's going to be very exciting at UPRN. So please, like I said, like and share if you're on YouTube as well. If you ever want to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me on facebook.com/The Angel Rock. Also, I have two groups on Facebook, Paranormal University, for some of the things we talked about tonight, and then the Angel Rocker Tribe for many of the things that we talked about tonight, including, people share things about how to get access your own abilities and gifts and what have you. I hope, Katrina, you'll come back on. I can't wait to have you back on
Thank
sometime, I
you.
hope.
I would love to. Thank you so much. I love your people. The energy is beautiful. And Lori, you just keep on going. You're doing wonderful.
Oh, thank you. The one thing I did forget to mention, first of all, please stay tuned for the Horsefly Chronicles with Philip and Julia Syracusa, good friends of mine. Love them. They do a great show. Thursdays, guys, don't forget, we did so well last week. We had staff meeting. David Hansel, my co-host, and I were doing handstands when we found out. So let's keep it going. So it's a thing at the foot of the bed, 3 to 5 Central, 4 to 6 Eastern. And we pick a topic and we talk about it either from our experiences or what we've received from spirit. It can be anything, angels to scary stuff to you name it. And then during that 2-hour time period, we do the unpredictable, predictable reading, which means whenever something lights up for us in the chat, we pick you. You're the lucky winner. We both give you guys a free reading from us. So stay
Beautiful.
tuned, guys. We'll see you back same time, same space next Monday as well. Love you all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Love y'all. And again,
Love
thanks.
you, my new Furever Friends.
Yeah, don't forget Forever and Forever Friends. You can
Yes.
also find you too, Katrina, with a lot of stuff, hashtags on social media with that before we go.
Yes.
Mhm.
If you Google me, I'm like the third person down. I heard that's pretty good.
And she's got some cool, we didn't even get into some of her YouTube videos, like a Dr. Chuck Kennedy mapping out where the psychic part of the brain may be located, the region of psi.
Best ever.
All kinds of stuff we haven't touched on. So like I said, we're going to have her back in soon. So
I
love
would
you all,
love
guys.
it.
See you next week.
See you later. Bye.